Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Gonna get back on the CT3 Yamaha and see if we can get the bottom end all put together and buttoned up. So let me get you overhead here and we'll get started on it. Okay, we're starting on the clutch side cover here. First thing I'm gonna do is get my new O-ring put in on the crankshaft here, and I'm just gonna coat it with a little oil. And we'll go ahead and try to sneak it down there. Be careful, these splines are kind of sharp, so just watch it. Kind of need something to get it down the groove. There it goes. All right. And we'll just get a little more oil on that. And we'll get some on the seal. And just kind of work that on there. And we can go ahead and put a little oil inside the spacer. Oops, sorry. And also on the outside. And just try to kind of twist that as we get it in there, hopefully. Sometimes they can be a pill going over that O-ring. Sometimes just take a, I'm gonna have to back you out here just a little bit. Just take a punch and kind of work it over it. There she goes. And just kind of give that a spin, make sure everything, make sure the lip on your seal didn't flip up or over or anything. Yeah, we're looking good. All right. All right, next thing we'll do is we'll get the follower in here, and it's good to put a little blue Loctite on that one. Just make sure that doesn't back out on you. And it's got a little shoulder here on the bolt for that to come down on. Of course, your spring. We'll worry about getting all that stuff right when we get it in there. All right, there we go. And you want to make sure that that gets on that shoulder before you tighten it up. Okay, and it's aluminum, so don't get too wild with your tightening. That's why we're putting the Loctite on it. And then we can go ahead and get our spring installed there. All right. Let's see, we've got our washer. This is a thick washer that goes on there. I believe it's a 3 millimeter. Yep, 3 millimeter. So that one goes over here up against the bearing. And then we have our spacer, and we want to put the holes out towards you. See, it's kind of offset here just a little bit. And we'll just put a little oil and make everything greasy there. Put that on, and our gear. Yeah. And let's see, I think sometimes I forget how this goes, but I believe that this one can go on now. And we've got a washer on it and a snap ring. Oops, let me get my pliers. And like I've said before, when you're installing a snap ring, the sharp edge is going to go out so that it can keep it from coming off. The rounded edge will go towards your spinning right here. So that just like that. And then you just give it a little check, make sure that it's seated. And let's see if I screwed up here. Get our, I think this is going to work. Put a little oil on that. And remember, you've got your spring right here. That's going to go in that little pocket. Just line that up. Okay, I think we're all right. Yep, see, everything is going to lock in. So let me get my spring pulled over. And if you remember, if you were watching this before, we put a new shaft in here because it was slipping. That's a common issue with these. So we've done a lot of stuff to this one already. Oops, too far up. There we go. Good. But we're kind of redoing them because we had to go ahead and put the bearings in. Just wasn't going to work without it. I think it would have not lasted very long. Things like that, you just never know until you get there whether or not you're going to have to do something like that. All right, let's see. Let's get our shaft in, and that's we also adjusted the shifter, and all that was working good when we had it in there before, so it shouldn't be an issue that we need to work on now. And that's going to slip right over the cog there. See if we can get you a little better shot. See how the spring is going to center on that, and you've got to lift this up and get it to drop in at the same time. There. Should be good. And I'm going to take and turn that around and get my clip on the other side of this one. And once you turn that around, then you've got a washer that goes on the shifter, and then you've got your E-clip, and you should be able to get in there with a pair of channel locks. kind of hold on to it so it doesn't go flying, and just pop it down there. I think it's in. Yeah, good to go. All right, let me get that back around. Okay, at this point, I think what I'll do next is put my gear on, and it's going to go with the tapered edge in, flat side out. And you've got a Belleville washer. This right here, it's kind of concave on this side, convex, or sitting up this way, and you have like a cave on that side, concave. That's how I remember it. And you put that on, then of course you put your nut on. And I'm not going to tighten it yet. I'm going to leave it kind of loose so that I remember to tighten it. And we'll go ahead and start getting our clutch assembly in here. So we've got all this tightened up, and all this shifter stuff was adjusted before, where you try to get these equal distance on either side from your pin, and you've got to be in second, third, or fourth to do that adjustment. Okay, so let's get our clutch basket in. And here we've got the little cog right here that's going to go into this cog. And before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and give the bushing a nice shot of oil in there. Okay, so then this will go up there over the looks like it popped right in the right place. Okay. So the next thing we've got here is we have our thrust washer. And these two pieces make up the thrust washer. You've got the one with the little roller bearings in it, and the one that looks just like it except it doesn't have bearings. Okay, so that washer is going to go on first, and we'll give it a little extra shot of oil. And then our bearing portion. If you order one of these new, this is how you're going to get it. You're going to get both pieces together. Your IPB a lot of times is it looks like there's fewer or more pieces in there, and that's not the case. That's just one piece. Then you take your bigger washer, which is actually kind of part of the bearing also. And this one is a 2, I think? Yeah, 2 millimeter. And it's going to go right there. And then you're going to get your piece there, and you've got your washer, tooth washer that's going to go in there, and you want to make sure that that is in there and it's positioned properly. And then you've got your nut with the recess on the back, and what it's going to do is it's going to pull the teeth up into here. That's why you want to make sure that washer is in there correctly. Let me get set up to tighten that. Okay, we'll go ahead and torque that up. You can all right, now at this point we'll go ahead and tighten up our crankshaft nut here. And I'm just going to take a penny and stick in between the gears there. Okay. And then pull that out, and you just keep using it. Use it until you can't get it in there anymore. And So we're good here. Now all we've got to do is turn our washer over. And you can get a chisel there just to try to get it started. And then go ahead and get your pliers. And let me move you just a little bit. And then just continue to bend it over. Pull it right up tight. Okay, so that's good. Now we'll put a little oil on our, actually I like a little grease on that end where the ball is going to go. Just put a little grease on that end. And really it doesn't hurt to do it right there too. So put that piece in, and remember to put your ball in first from the other side. The ball and then the rod. And I'll go through that. Okay, so let's get our steels in. A steel and your rubber if you've got them. And fiber plate. And let me get that pushed down there. And your fiber plate, and you just keep the same process going. Now these were already in and they were soaked in oil. I didn't re-soak them. I just took them out and kind of wiped them off. But they're still soaked. If you haven't done that, especially if you've got new ones, soak the fiber plates overnight in just a little container, Tupperware thing or something with some your transmission oil in it. And that way it gives it a little head start on hydrating them. Okay, then the fiber is the last one to go on. And make sure you've got all your rubber cushions in also. And then we've got our cover. I'm just going to put a little oil on it since I had cleaned it up. And then these are going to pop right down like that. And we're going to start our springs. And there's a dimension on these. I checked it the last time, so these are all good. I can't remember what that dimension is, but it's in the book. And we'll just get these tightened up. And then you can just kind of run these on down. I just run them down with this, and of course I start them first to make sure that I don't have any cross thread. And remember too that these are going into aluminum, so you don't need to tighten them just terribly tight. I usually take my impact driver and just give them one little pop, and that's sufficient. It's not going anywhere. Just like that. Okay, next thing you want to get your tack drive in. You got a nylon spacer and a nylon gear, and it's going to go in like this. And then you should have a 1mm washer that goes right here. So I do believe we are done in here. So I can go ahead and get the cover on. Let me get that squared away. Okay, our gasket's still in good shape. Our seal is still good on the kickstarter. Make sure that this stuff stays up out of the way. And be careful to try to get our gears and everything to mesh as we come down. There. Okay, it's all down. And make sure that you get your screw that's behind the pump. I just left it in there. No use trying to fish it out. So I'll get that one kind of started first. And I'll go ahead and get the rest of them in. And we'll go ahead and go around and give these each a tap. I need to get my extension for that one. Okay, we've got it spun around here now. And we want to make sure that our little ball goes in right there. And I like to put a little grease on this end of this one that's going to go there. And we'll just put a little bit on this end where it's going to spin in the seal. So there's that. And then we'll get our collar for the countershaft. And we just want to put a little oil in the middle and on the outside of that one. And give our seal a little help here too. Oops, that's not cool. All right, and then that needs to go in there. And that's good. And make sure that the lip is out where it should be and not folded in. And then we'll put our sprocket on. Yes, he needs a new one. Maybe sometime later down the road. He doesn't want to do it now. And you've got your washer that's just like the one on the clutch, where it's going to pull those splines up into it. And then I just use a spanner wrench. Get in here. Give her a good tighten. And then we'll fold that one over just like we did the other one. All right. So let's get ready to put our Magneto together. Okay, this is easy to do. Just line up your two holes. This one's got enough set in the wiring to kind of show where it's supposed to go. Just make sure that it seats down in there, and go ahead and install your tapered 6mm screws. You can get it going. There we go. And we'll give them a whack. And we've got our key straight up. I think that's usually where it kind of falls in line the best. We've still got lube on our lobe. Right in there. Flat washer, lock washer, and nut. And when you're doing this, always use some with some short pins on them so they don't get in there and tear up your coils. A lot of people stick things in there that end up tearing up the coils. Okay, so that's good. Oh, that feels a lot better than it did. Not near as loose. Okay, I'm going to get the little wire hooked up to the neutral switch. So just slide that under and hook it on. Tighten your screw up and then slide your cover over, which is probably going to be easier said than done because it's so worn. Or it's not worn, it's hard. They do make them, but I don't have one available. All right. Okay, and we get it around here and we can get our kickstarter on. I kind of like having that on when I put it in the frame. It gives you a good handle. And see what it was doing. That's why we had to put that new shaft in, because it when they go bad, they start slipping and they just keep going further and further up, and then they'll start damaging the interior case also. So if it starts, I've done a couple videos showing how to repair them, or the best thing, there are still some shafts out there and they're not too expensive. Just try to get a new one. But if you can't, you can weld them. And I've done a couple of them, so you can check out those videos if you'd like. Okay guys, we've just got the top end to put back on. So we'll be getting to that in the next video. I've got, I don't have any leftover parts, so I'm in good shape there, I think. And we'll just kind of cover this one up a little bit, and we'll be getting to the top end real soon. Okay guys, that's the bottom end. It's all buttoned up. Everything's ready to go there. We just got to put some oil in it and get the engine back in the case after we get the top end on. And we'll try it and see if it'll run. And we'll do what we did with the flywheel, only I'll probably just use a piece of wood or something instead of my finger. It was just, that was kind of silly, but I have a feeling that it's going to run and not die now. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.